Are you fed up with boring work, mundane, and not getting enough greens in your life? Then the gardens is for you.
At least it might be. Watch the video to find out more.
See you soon. Welcome to Ludus Vulpes. My name's Kirsty.
And I'm Phil.
And you join us as we run through the gardens from Grail Games.
Yeah.
We brought the gardens inside for playing the gardens outside.
And so the gardens is set in the botanical gardens in Sydney, Australia, where you are basically setting up your garden so that your visitors can have just like the most wonderful time, and they're going to score you points as they visit certain parts of the gardens, and that's going to work out really, really nicely. And we've obviously created our own indoor garden, which is probably going to make this review a little trickier, but we'll cope. We are going to cope because they're going to stick around. And before we start, I think it's worth saying that this falls into, although it's card laying, I'd say it falls into like a tile laying aspect of games. Yeah. It's very reminiscent of Cascadia, I would say. You've got some variable scoring on the board.
Yeah.
How you place things affects how you score things.
Yeah.
And there's some tricky decisions to make as you go through the game. What does this game remind you of? Okay,
so for me, there's hints obviously of Cascadia. There's hints of Cascadia in the way that it scores. Acropolis in the way, obviously, placing and then immediately scoring.
Yes.
And then, yeah.
It's going to draw some
Carcassonne with like the slight root building in it.
You can't not draw comparisons to Carcassonne because Carcassonne is there as that sort of pinnacle of tile entry level tile laying games. And this game also comes with a number of modes to ramp up complexity as well. So we'll talk about those as we go through the review. But before we go any further and give you our thoughts on the game, let's have a look at how the game plays. If you want to come and join us for a quick game overview and our last round and some scoring. We're just down here.
Amongst the plants.
Amongst the plants. You join us on a game of the gardens and we are set up for a final round. Before we take that final round, let's have a quick overview of how the game works. So you've got a master scoreboard and there's a score track on there, and there's also some tiles that are going to affect scoring. These 4 tiles are all about end-game scoring, and these are in-game scoring depending on the tiles you place, or the cards you place in this case. We've got this area of the board here, which are the cards we have available for us to draft into our gardens. And over the course of a round, we're going to be taking 2 each from each row. In a 3 or more player game, instead of being 4 cards here, there'll be 3 cards for a 3-player game in each row, or 4 cards for a 4-player game. And at the end of each round, everyone will have drafted 1 from each area. But in a 2-player game, you deal 4 cards, and each player will take 2 from each row.
It's worth noting that although Phil's and my boards look exactly the same, that's pure fluke because they are actually 2 blank areaed boards you see beneath the cards here. They are all blank, and then this centerpiece moves into place at the beginning of the game to connect the 2 boards.
Yeah, we just happen to have built exactly the same pattern. That was non-defined. As you place one of these cards, you'll take 1 card on your turn, you'll place it. Each row can only go in the equivalent row. So there is the top row with a little skyline. You got little cityscape at the bottom, and then row B just has they're just clean cards. So you're going to place those in, and as you place them, you'll have the opportunity to score, because what you'll do is you'll place a card and move your little visitor to the new location on your player board, and you'll score based on various tiles. So in this one, if you stop on a tree of a colour, every other tree of that colour that you've passed, including one you may have started on and one you end on, is going to score you points. If you only hit 1, you'll score 1 point, 2, 3 points, 4, 6 points, and if you have 3, 6 points, and if you have 4 trees of the same colour, you'll score 10 points. Yeah, I know. Fountains are going to score you points for every bit of water that visitor crosses on the way there, 1 point each. And benches, which we have got a bench just here, benches for every card that surrounds a bench. So this bench here, if it was being placed, would actually score 9 points, although
It'd
it's
be
impossible.
8 points because you wouldn't have that one.
It's impossible to place that. So that's how the game works. You then go into final scoring, which you'll see at the end of the game. So that is how the game works. Take a card, move your visitor, score that, whichever tile you can score, and then move on. And we'll take it in alternate turns. So, would you like to join us for a demo round?
Yes, as you can see, at the moment, I have 27 points and Phil has 26.
Okay, let's see if we can change that.
Phil is first player this round, I believe.
I am indeed.
It plays over 3 rounds.
4 rounds.
4 rounds.
8 rounds.
I always get it wrong.
8 rounds in a larger
that's it, yeah.
play area. So I've put a purple tree in, and my visitor moves from here all the way over to there, but he's not past any of the purple trees, so he's just going to score 1 point for visiting that purple tree.
Okay, I will take this one to extend my path, and my little visitor is going to lie down there to remind me that I've taken 1 piece.
Okay. I am going to pick up this piece from my bottom row.
Phil's just won the game. He's literally just taken the only other piece with the statue on, and I needed to have that piece to have a chance of winning this game.
Have you? I got more statues than you. You counted my board.
Yeah, literally the only way I could have won this game was by Phil leaving me that piece.
We don't know that yet. We'll
I do. Trust me, I worked it out. Okay, right. Well, that messed that up. I will take this one for row A to finish my little chap's journey here, and that's for 1 point for my purple tree.
I'm going to take this fountain here. I'm going to place it just here and move my guy. He passes 2 lots of water, including the one the fountain's in, for 2 points.
I will take this river here, which gives me a yellow tree. Walk along, it's the only yellow tree, it gives me 1 point.
We're kind of neck and neck all the way through. We've both got 3 cards. 3 cards. Yeah, you don't know that yet. 3 cards left to take. So I'm going to take this one and drop it in there. That's my middle row complete. So Kirsty's in an interesting situation that card is definitely hers. There's no reason for her to take that now. She might as well wait until the end of the game and take a more contested card in the same way that this is for me.
Yeah, nothing really helps, to be honest. I will take the yellow tree here.
She's going to score you 3 points as he goes past.
Place it there.
1, 2, 3.
As it's the last one.
Gone past 2 yellow trees, the one on the route and the one he stops at. And then I will take... These are identical, so I might as well take one of those. That works.
So I will take this one. Yeah. Take this one here. Which is 1, 2...
No fountain, so he's not going to score. Same as mine. It's frustrating. This fountain comes here, scoring me a point.
And finally, this card comes in here, which scores me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the bench. But Phil still won the game because of this statues.
Okay, well, let's do endgame scoring before we rush into it. And we're going to take each of these tiles in turn. So this tile is going to score based on how many different trees you have in each row. So I'm going to score my top row. I've got 1. I've got a red, a yellow, and a purple. 3 different trees. 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My next row has 1 tree in it, which scores me 1 point. And my last row also only has 1 tree in it, scoring me another single point. Kirsty, your tree scoring?
Yellow, palm, red, and purple. So that's 10 points. Oh, so maybe I will win this one. I thought you'd done much better on your trees because I've seen lots of colour.
My trees are atrocious.
Yellow, red, purple. 6 more points. Another 6 points. And this one is yellow, palm, red. So no purple, but 6 points.
So that's this one done. So now we score for our lakes. We have partial lakes where 2 tiles equate a lake, which I've got 2 of, or complete lakes where you've got, like Kirsty has here, both ends connect. So I've got 2 partial lakes for 4 points.
I've got 1 partial for 2 points and 2 full lakes for 5 each. So that's 14 points.
12.
Oh, sorry. Yep, sorry, 12.
It still gives you a healthy lead at this stage. We then do paths, which is where I'm hoping to claw back some territory. And it's connected paths within your network. So anything that connects to the longest connected network. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 points on my paths. So that goes 5, 6, 7, 8. But Kirsty's still well ahead. What's your paths?
So it was 17 and you just put 18 on.
I thought it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
So just 1 back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
They're not connected.
You've said they've always been connected in the past?
No, they're connected across there. That connects.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. So 29. Okay, and then the final points are statues.
10 points for your statues.
So apparently I've got more statues, but I'm going to count them anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Because if I had that one, we would have tied, and I wanted to know what happened with the tie.
5.
But
So you've got 4.
No, you've got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got, I think.
No, I have 5. I still win. I still get. Well, I still get 10 points.
It would have been 5 each.
So that's there. So Kirsty wins the game, scoring 79 points. I came second, which is a shame, scoring 67 points. And that is how you play and score the Gardens. So, thoughts on the game?
This game, The Gardens, is beautiful. The artwork is stunning. The theme is beautiful. It's a nice, light game. It's, you've got minimalistic choice. It's not like you're overwhelmed by pieces. But for some reason, I really, really struggle with this game. And I think it's because in most games where you're building and connecting routes, for example, like Carcassonne, you cannot put a road where there isn't a road, for example. And when I play Cascadia, I always play and I generally always maximise the points in Cascadia by having land types and having the largest land types. Because the way that my mind works is set collection. So put all the different different land types, so all the water together, all the etc. So this is so I have really struggled with this game, haven't I? Learning this game, and it's because to put a piece down that doesn't connect to another road piece. So if you see on my board here,
it's disconnected here.
It's like that should not be allowed to be placed there because it's everything you're taught in most tile laying games to make those connections. It reverses everything I've learned in the last 2.5 years in this style of game. And that for me has been such a difficult obstacle to overcome when learning this game.
Difficult obstacle to overcome in a game that she hasn't lost a game of yet, and we're probably about 5 games in at this stage, 5 or 6 games in.
But there's a difference between playing a game and going, yes, winning, and going, I don't understand how I have still won that because it doesn't look right. Does that make sense? It's a feel that
you're looking for the patterns, and you're seeing disconnected patterns, and those disconnected patterns make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't care. Mess is fine as long as it gets me a chance of winning the game.
No, you asked me my opinion on the game, and I'm giving that. But I want to keep playing the game because I want to make it get to a stage where that's comfortable, that's normal.
Yeah, and so for me, this one is an interesting one, and the different modes in the box give you step up complexity. There's a sort of part of the game where you're covering landmarks, and each landmark either gives you bonus points or a little bit of a rule breaker, which is really nice and helping you maximise points. There are alternate scoring tiles all the way through.
Yeah, it's quite nice because these, as you can see,
just slot into the board. They're
lift
really
out.
lovely, and
the same with the
Yeah,
in game scoring.
and you've got a huge range of things you can sort of switch in and out in this game to give yourself loads of replayability. So, likened it to games like Cascadia, Acropolis. If I had a choice of the three, I'd probably put Acropolis on the table first, but this might well be second. Cascadia plays a little long for me for what I get out of it. This game is a little bit quicker. So yeah, I think for me, this is a really nice game. It plays really well at 2 players and feels quite competitive at 2 players.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Even though I can't win the damn thing.
So one of the things that I think is really important, and obviously one of our recent gaming, one of our gaming gossips that we talk about is colourblind. And I actually believe that this game, despite there being a lot of green in it, is very colourblind friendly.
Probably.
The meeples are screen printed so that even if you only see them in black and white, you can see the difference between the colours. Not that it really matters that much, except on the game board here you'll see that they have very clear different markings. The trees are also so distinctly different, maybe the purple and the yellow being the slight exception. They're very similar in style, but there's still a different variation in style of tree. And I think actually it's good that it would seem that companies are thinking about it and actively making an effort, to make sure that games are accessible for all.
Okay. So for me, recommendation-wise, if you're looking for something just above an entry-level game that is a tile-laying game at heart, even though you're playing cards, and you love the theme and you want to pick up a game, this might well be the game for you. It plays a little bit longer than a filler, so it's not quite a filler, but it's not a full evening game, so it's a nice hour. And it's kind of in the same vein that I'd say Cascadia works for me, and things like the Whatnot cabinet. It's a nice sort of like
zen-inducing game.
It doesn't require like a huge amount of thought, but if you want to play it in a really tactical, harsh way, you probably could and really maximise it. So overall, if you're looking for something that is a tile-laying game that's just a little bit beyond the entry level, then The Gardens is definitely one you should consider.
Lots of replayability, lots of variation. It's definitely one that's worth picking up.
If you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, please like and subscribe. Don't
forget we're also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. All you need to do is search Luda's Full Pairs.
Thank you for your time today.
Thanks everyone. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Intro video.
Oh, I forgot that bit. Do you want to do a little clap so you know where it stops?
Nah, it's fine.
I'm going to stop that one, then?
No,
just leaving it?
Just leave it.
Hang on. Hold that out of the way. I need to be able to move it. Or can you move that in when I say?
Yeah.
Just slide it across a bit more so there's no green in screen. Okay, ready?
Yeah.